Can you unpin the Steam icon that's not running and pin the one that's currently running? No. Unpin. Pin. You happy now? You give me as many links. Okay, this is awful. Like, what is this? My god. Ah, shit. Well, this is definitely something to not do for a war paint. Not only in terms of colors, but in terms of cartoon style. This is not something that belongs in Team Fortress 2. Artistically speaking, it's very well made, but it looks like it's made for like a children's carpet. It's definitely like, it's just not something that's appropriate for Team Fortress 2. It really isn't. In any capacity, it just doesn't belong. Oh my god, there's so many links. Too many links. Which is exactly what I need. I need many, many links. Hate to say it, but I feel like that would somehow find a way into TF2. I mean, we already have stuff that's pretty bad that's already found its way into Team Fortress 2. But okay, so critiques on this and why it doesn't belong. First of all, the colors. These are not colors that you would expect to see in the Team Fortress 2 color palette. You don't see a lot of purple. You see no pink unless you get the rainbow skins from the Pyroland collection or the pink paint. They're all pastel-y and washed out, so one could make an argument that they're okay, but these are all way, way too bright. It would stand out too strongly, would contrast too heavily against the backdrop of the game. It would just be like a nasty, ugly eyesore. There are no darker colors and elements to help balance out what's going on. In terms of the colors, there's also a lot of fine detail, a lot of fine lines and smaller shapes that make it look very busy, on top of the fact that you have a lot of dinosaur stickers that just make the whole thing look very cluttered. So it's really busy. You have a lot of different colors layered on top of each other. So it's just this big eye-searing mess. The dinosaurs themselves, yeah, they're cute little quirky dinosaurs. Also, NN so gave 5 gift subs. Thanks, man. You're awesome. I really appreciate that. On top of that, you have these dinosaur stickers, which are cute and cuddly little things, but they just don't really fit. They don't really belong. This is one major mistake that a lot of people make when it comes to making skins and items for Team Fortress 2. They do not adhere to the style of the game. They figure, okay, I have a paint canvas, I can just make whatever I want, and it will be chucked into the game and it would be appropriate. That works for something more like CSGO, where they really don't have a standard in terms of the style, because the game in and of itself is already realistic, and the point of the skins in that game is to give them like this really flashy, bright thing to play with, because in that game it doesn't strictly matter that you're not adhering to an art style, because the art style is just simply realistic, right? So it doesn't really matter. But in TF2 is a very heavily stylized game, and when you introduce other things that don't match the heavy cartoon style of Team Fortress 2, it looks really out of place. Like, for example, you could put this on a CSGO skin, and it wouldn't look out of place. You put this on a TF2 skin, what the fuck's it doing here, right? That's my point. But yeah, it's well made in terms of the art, but it just doesn't belong. So, no thanks, I'm not interested. The guy's got talent, but this looks like curtains for a child's bedroom. So, definitely just does not fit. At all. We have many, many links here. If I miss links, I do apologize. I'll click on as many of them as I can. And go from there. Let's see, what's up next? What do we got next here? Karambit, Dinomania, dear god. I think I looked at this skin once before already. I don't remember, Silver Shot. This one's interesting. I really do not like how dark the black is. The black is almost too saturated, and it just doesn't quite look that great. Everything else about this war paint's fine. I like the subtle, not subtle, but I like the gradient between this kind of frosty bluish ice down to the black. I like the winter camo pattern. That looks nice. Color palette wise, totally fine. Black is a little bit too heavy. I don't know, man. I feel like this war paint would definitely look out of place on the red team. I feel like it's not neutral enough to where it would fully belong for both red and blue. Look great on the blue team, but the red team would look kind of like just really wouldn't fit. So perhaps as an alternative, they could do something like a desert camo. Like you have like a winter camo here for blue, and then a red variant could be like a tan or sandy like desert camo, where it can still be like this brighter tan yellowish color, which then has a gradient down into like a darker brown or almost like dark gray, or maybe even just the same black could work. I'm not sure. And then do like a, kind of like how you have the digi camo and the sand cannon, that could look good. But this doesn't look bad. No, I agree. This doesn't look too bad at all. It's pretty fairly well made. I just think that a team variant would help this war paint a lot. And the black's rubbing me the wrong way. The black's rubbing me the wrong way. But it's pretty good. I like this one. It's well made. I appreciate it. It's not bad. Yeah, the colors need to be toned down. I think that might be the problem. Is if you look at the contrast with that's something else as well that people need to be very careful with when it comes to blending high contrasting colors together. This contrast between this very, very bright, almost white, and then this black slapped right next to each other is really harsh on the eyes. And you need to find a way to maybe tone that down a little bit, because the gradient isn't white enough. It's almost like a hard, solid line between the bright whitish blue and the black. So it needs to be smoothed and smeared out a little bit so that that jump between those two colors isn't super harsh on the eyes. But again, all the colors are there. The colors are there, design-wise it's there, but some tweaking would really make this skin, like, perfect. It's almost there. A little bit more work and it should be good. Yeah, it would look off on it. Time to debut Forest DD-Pad in TF2. I guarantee someone's made a Forest DD-Pad skin in some capacity for Team Fortress 2. There has to be. There has to be. Some more links here. Let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything here or missing any. Oh, okay. I have to drool. I have to drool over this one for a little bit. We'll never see this in game, all right? We're never gonna see a High Rollers Mark II. But man, does some of these look fucking cool. The High Roller skins are, in my opinion, just some of the cleanest and best skins in the game. The entire Gentleman's Collection is fucking flawless. I really like this idea of putting them on other weapons, and it does look good on some. It looks really good on some. The knife, this knife is really clean. I like the ivory blade. That's pretty kick-ass. The shotgun's a little iffy for me. I feel like there's too much going on the back end and then not enough going on the front. I feel like you can't omit the poker chips though, because that's part of the High Roller skin. And that this also brings up a major issue with war paints, is that war paints are finicky in that they just cannot look good on every weapon. Very few war paints look good on most of the weapons, which is really unfortunate. It's the limiting factor of war paints. It's very difficult to make a war paint look good on everything. But the cool thing that people on the workshop have been doing is they've just been making a select few picks of weapon models to apply these skins on, and then they do stuff like this, which is pretty cool. High Roller's rocket launcher, I like it. I love the fact that there's a lot more of this wood, which is something that the normal High Roller skins lack. This polished wood, which looks really fucking good on any weapon model. I feel like there's too much green on this though. I think I like the roulette wheel on the front here. The green's cool here. The white ivory detailing's that's here, but I think this whole, I don't know, it needs something else to balance it out a little bit more in the middle. But again, looks good. The custom grenades are sick too with the poker chips on them. It's kick-ass. Minigun looks like pure drip, as the kids say. Minigun's pretty good. I don't know, the poker chips look kind of big. It's kind of goofy on this one. It's like on just the high. So here's the thing too. Not all of the High Roller skins have poker chips. They don't need them. So I think the omission of the poker chips on the minigun and on the shotgun would look great. Right? And also on the sniper rifle. You don't need the poker chips on all these, because the SMG doesn't have poker chips, and the minigun doesn't have poker chips. So, I like the scope. The detail of the scope's cute. That's nice. That's actually really cool. And it looks like they tried to put the sniper emblem on there. It's kind of hard to tell. I think the sniper emblem would have looked better on the butt of the rifle and not on the barrel. That way you could actually get the full emblem on the weapon and not having it clipped off there. I think that might be a better change. And I think, yeah, cutting off the poker chips on some of these, like, I don't think you need the poker chips on the grenade launcher. It makes it a little bit too cluttered. It's a little too cluttered with the poker chips on some of these. Wasn't there a scattergun, too? Yeah, scattergun. The poker chips on the scattergun work, almost. Because, like, if you look at the, like, hold on, let me start my game. Because I need to, like, show you what I'm talking about. Because I really like this expansion of the High Roller skins. I would love to see more shit like this. It's super fucking cool. You know, and maybe, hey, maybe if we keep making skins like this, Valve will be like, huh, maybe we should do this. The workshop really seems to like these. Maybe they'll put them in. Who knows? Keep making this cool stuff, and maybe Valve will be like, all right, sure, why not? Who knows? But, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. Actually, no, not we'll see, not a maybe. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to give false hope. Valve is only going to keep picking dog shit, and will keep getting dog shit because they have one person picking items on the workshop. But here, this is what I mean by the poker chips on the High Roller skins. So, load. So, like, the SMG doesn't have any poker chips, and it doesn't need them. Medigun doesn't have any poker chips, and it doesn't need them. The only one that does is the rocket launcher. But if you look at the poker chips, they're a very, very small detail on an otherwise very big weapon model, and that's good. A tiny little detail like this doesn't make the entire thing overly cluttered, which is great. And on the backside, of course, you have the full emblem and a lot more of the wood on the side. It's really, really clean. But then if you look at these, the poker chips don't take up that much real estate on the scattergun, but they take up a lot on the shotgun. They look out of place there. Don't like it on those, and especially on the minigun. Takes up a lot of real estate. I think if they got rid of the poker chips on those, it'd be a lot better. Sniper rifle, not too much. I think there's a little too much going on the scope. Get rid of the poker chips on there too. It'd make it look a lot more clean, and then move the emblem down to the butt of the rifle. That'd be good. But yeah, I think just experimenting with which weapons look good with the poker chips and which ones don't would be a good next step for this this really neat collection of skins here. It's really well made though. These are fucking awesome. I would love to see these in game, even with the poker chips as they are. You know, it's a very minor critique, but otherwise, this collection of skins is fucking sick. I'd love to see it. It's really good. I feel like some of these could do with like marble flooring or something to like change it up a little bit. I don't know. I think the idea behind these was just to really stick with how the original High Rollers looked. If they started bringing in the marble textures from like the top shelf skins, then it might start looking a little too busy. Because like imagine if they replaced this white ivory here. I'm calling it ivory. It's probably it's the I'm assuming it's like the I guess it is ivory. I'm not sure. But imagine if they replaced that with like a marble texture and make it a little bit too busy. But who knows? Oh yeah, here's this cool effect. So, yeah, this is a recent unusual effect that was added to the workshop. This one's sick. So, actually, fun fact, the guy who made this actually reached out to me and was, like, asking my opinion on it. And I think this is actually, like, one of the most unique effects we've seen in a very, very long time. It's a crown. It's a fucking crown of fire, which is really fucking sick. And then you have, like, a gold variant and a silver variant. This shit's awesome. It looks really cool. I like it because it's fresh. It's different without being this hideously gaudy clusterfuck of shit above your head, you know? That's my problem with a lot of modern unusual effects, it's that they're just this big fucking aura of glowing mess just on your fucking head. It's like unusual effects of the past 4 or 5 years just keep trying to outdo each other, right? They keep trying to make like the biggest, baddest, glowing ball of fucking energy that they can make. Just like big, flashy. You don't need to be big, bright, and flashy to make a good unusual effect. More subtle stuff like this is kick-ass. It would look really cool. The crown is awesome, but I feel like it'd be weird on some hats. That's another problem with unusuals, is that not every unusual effect is gonna look good on every single hat, you know? It's very hit and miss. It's been a fact for years. Like, not every unusual effect is gonna look good on every single hat. But, I like the fire variants more on this effect because the creator of this one really managed to pin down how those flames actually kind of... It made them actually look like flames. But, I think this effect is a lot weaker, for the silver and the gold. And I could not figure out a way... I'm hoping they got some good pointers on this effect. I hope they got some good pointers on how to make the silver and the gold look a little bit less flat. That was my problem with this one. Is that it's really flat, but I couldn't figure out. I'm not like an artist by any means. I couldn't figure out what words to say to them to not make it look so flat. Because the flame looks good. The flames look good. They have like that subtle amount of transparency to where it actually looks like fire. But the silver and the gold are really, they're not as transparent. It's a bit flat. So I think that's the only bad thing going for this effect. And also, I think where the particles overlap, where you have the, it's not like seamless, right? If it was like a seamless crown where you didn't have the overlapping of the individual things, I think that might be, I might tell them that. I don't know if they can, they can definitely update the effect. I think if they could figure out a way to make the band cut across and then blend in with the other particles, so you don't have like these lines cutting across the band, going across the forehead, that might be better as well. But it's a nice effect. It's sick. I like, as is, I would not mind seeing this in game. It's different. It's something fucking different. Finally. God. Ugh. Hear me out. If the weapon's grip but stock and handle texture is wood on the warpaint, it's an instant W. I could agree with that. Alright, Scotsman, what do you got for me here? Stump remover. What you got with this one? We got some fucking wood. Stump remover. The colors are good. The colors are good. Don't like the wood texture. The wood texture is not... It's not... It doesn't look right. It looks like a photograph. It's definitely not hand-drawn. This is not a hand-drawn wood texture by any means. This is definitely stock image use here, for sure. You can just tell by looking at the background on this that this was not drawn by hand. It still looks good. But there's that problem. If you could figure out to make the wood look a little bit more stylized for TF2, I think that would be a lot better. If it looked like a hardwood floor. Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, I think it's the main texture is a little bit too noisy. Again, because you have that photorealistic nature with it. So that's drawing it back a little bit. I like the inclusion of this color gradient going on. That's a neat touch. You know, kind of like how you have with Anodized Aloha. I like that. Yeah, I think the number one problem with this is that it's definitely like a pre-made stock wood texture or a photograph that they just applied some kind of filters to in Photoshop and adjusted the colors. So I think that's the main problem with this. So definitely try drawing your own wood texture to make it more stylized for Team Fortress 2. And that will already be miles better than what this is. But I think the main hurdle that a lot of workshop creators have when it comes to making a warpaint is they don't understand the colors. Colors are a big problem, right? Because textures you can do... You have a little bit more freedom with textures in terms of, like, you know, what you're trying to convey, like wood or stone or metal. There's a lot of different stuff you can do. But the colors are the biggest thing people struggle with because they tend to be overly saturated. They look really out of place. But I'm glad that this guy at least nailed down the color palette before the textures, because more often than not, it's the other way around, from what I've seen on the workshop. So I will give him props for that, but definitely don't use a stock texture on your war paints. So I'm gonna have to say no thanks, not interested in that one. I only want this for Scout, and I'm done for him. Oh, I looked at this one before. I did look at this cosmetic before, so I won't look at it again. Good stream, I must go. Have a good one, man. Hope you have a good day. Forgot to ask how you guys are doing, by the way. It's Friday. You've made it to the end of the week. How's everyone doing? Everyone doing good? Hope everyone's doing good. Everyone doing alright? When was this added? March 19th? Okay, it's a fairly recent addition. You're good? At a party today? Got a fucking Peter hee-hee? Do I still have the Peter hee? I do. Ah! I don't know if you can hear it. I think you can. You can't hear it. I can't hear it, so you guys get to suffer when I come. Are you happy? Did you get your... I hope that was worth your fucking viewer bucks. These weapon accessories are super cool. I don't like them. I've touched on some of these before on my stream, but I do not like these weapon effects. They look really out of place. Because you are changing the stylized weapon models into something that they shouldn't be. Some of them are definitely better than the others, but to me it just adds more on-screen clutter that doesn't need to be there. And some of these things look really out of place, too. You're just adding more random garbage on the weapon model. And I just don't think they belong inside of TF2. They're a neat concept, but I just don't think they fit. That's all I really got to say on that. And hold on, let me quickly go back to that one, because, like, it looks even worse with the skins. Like, if you look how it looks on skins, fucking, look at that. And of course, they cherry pick the ones that would look good on certain war paints, but then you have, you know, a brown butt contrasting with the rest of the war painted weapon. No, it wouldn't look very good. I do not like it. It does not fit in the game. It's a neat concept, but not for me. Wizard Bat subscribed. 1 year, hardly knew her. Thanks, man. It's a fucking year. Thanks. If you don't have the Iron Curtain, this would be an alternative. Actually, I don't think... Have I looked at this one before? I don't think I have. This is a fairly... This is an older edition, but I don't think I've looked at this one on my streams. This one's pretty neat. I like it a lot. See, this is what I mean by stylized wood. This is the more stylized wood that you would expect to find inside of TF2, and not like a photorealistic texture. So, if I have already looked at it, then this is definitely what you need to be going for. My only problem, I don't think I've looked at this one. My only problem with this war paint is that it's a little too saturated. I think the black definitely needs to be turned into something that looks more like metal. It's a little too heavy. The red and the gold are way too saturated. Those need to be toned down a little bit. But overall, the color palette is pretty much there. The textures are definitely there. But I think some tweaking of the colors would definitely be good. And unfortunately, because of the style of what the skin's going for, it's meant to be, you know, Russian USSR themed. You can't really make a team variant of this because, you know, red star, gold, it's meant to be like the, you know, the old USSR flag. That's my... They can't really do anything about that, so they can't make a team variant for it. But, it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. It's definitely one of the better contributions to the workshop, but the black definitely... Like, you can tell just by looking at the screenshot. And something else, too. Something else. And I will keep saying this every time I see it. Do not present your war paints like this. Make sure that when you present your war paint, you put it against the backdrop of the game, so people are being shown what they're actually going to get. Because when you place your war paint on top of the same textures being used, it makes it look way fucking worse, especially for this one. You put a messy texture on a messy background, you can't tell what it's gonna look like in game. Do not do that. You have to put it against the backdrop. It's a much more honest way of showing what you're wanting to put in the game, in my opinion. You know, you can do some good renders, what have you. Just don't overlay it on that same texture. It's my main pet peeve that people do with this stuff. Scotsman, you've sent this one like 6 times. I'll get to it in a minute. Or rather, this specific link has been sent to me like 6 times. What's this one? This one's also been sent to me like 6 times. What about this one? Oh! Oh! Whoa, what the fuck? Okay, so here's an example of a war paint that fails on both fronts, both in colors and in texture. So it looks like what they've opted to do is, and they didn't even, oh god, the way it scales, it looks really fuzzy. It's not seamless. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, they've just done what appears to be a ripple warp on some straight lines. And it makes it really fucking busy. It's too noisy, first of all. It's way too noisy. Small details on TF2 skins do not translate well into the game because it just makes them look really fucking busy. This is a massive clusterfuck. It's pretty bad. And for the colors, I guess they're trying to go for a macaw mask. Yeah, there you go. They're going for a macaw mask again with all the different colors. And you have these really harshly contrasting colors, purple and orange. Green and orange, they're really ugly. The colors just do not, this is a big no from me. And I don't think this is a concept that can be improved. I think if they want to keep going with this swirly pattern, this looks like something that was pre-generated as well, like inside of a program. It's like they just did a couple of effects on some straight lines and boom, you're done. I think what they need to do is, significantly thicken the lines before they apply the warp to them. Otherwise, it's going to make it way too busy. And then the colors need to be scrapped entirely. And then they also put a gradient on the front for on here for some reason. Why? What for? What purpose? Yeah, this is just very poor. Does not belong in the game. Needs a lot of work. Perhaps the concept should be scrapped in its entirety. Looks like a Bollywood macaw mask. I like that. That's a good description. Grommet skin. Ha. Ha. This is ancient, dude. This is in 2015. Holy shit. It kind of fits a little bit. I don't know. The colors are alright. Okay, for some reason this image is not wanting to appear before me. Okay, the red and the blue definitely fit. The little mouse is cute. Rare mouse, ha! Gotta get the rare mouse on there. Wait, this came out in 2015? You're understanding my concern, right? Warpaints weren't released until 2017. Why is there a Warpaint on the workshop in 2015? Was this meant to be a war? This is a Warpaint. What the fuck? I'm a little baffled. Clearly they only put it on these 4 weapon models, but this is definitely like, this was like, maybe Valve saw this and were like, huh, this is where we need to go for skins in TF2. They saw this and went, okay, we can do a Warpaint concept instead. Wow, this guy was ahead of his time, apparently. Anyways, back to it. It's just the first Warpaint. Probably skin change to, but the changelogs don't say that though, which is interesting to me. I've seen that one before. Interesting. Okay, so I like that they took screenshots in the backdrop of the game. It kind of fits. I feel like the red and the blue are a little flat. I don't know what they could do to change that. Because you have like the subtle gradient patterns that a lot of TF2 textures have. But I feel like it's a little bit too flat. And the cheese holes, it gets the job done. It's alright. It's alright. This works, and I hate how it looks on this picture, but putting it against the backdrop of the game is definitely more fitting. This looks good. I feel like they could do something to the red and blue. They could have done something to the red and blue texture to make it not look so flat, because flat textures like this tend to look very bad. It makes them look like a toy or just like an untextured weapon model. So try to avoid that when you're making a Warpaint. Give it at least some texture to work with, otherwise it's gonna look very poor. Pardon me, my nose is running like a motherfucker, because I've had like really bad air quality today. Very itchy nose. But yeah, it's not bad. This gets a pass. It's not amazing, but it gets a pass, for sure. Definitely gets a pass. Alright, I'm gonna pick at random here from all the tabs I have open. This one. Armored Snake. I don't know. Couple things. The first thing is, it doesn't really look like something Spy would wear. How old is this? 2019. This looks like those existing medic items where he has like the... it looks like a set of existing medic items where they gave medic like knee pads, like camo knee pads. This definitely does not look like something the Spy would wear. And it has too much going on with it. You have the boots, you have the knee key, you have the knee pads, you have the vest. Are these separate cosmetics? No, it's all just one thing. Or it looks like a cosmetic set, rather. It's a cosmetic set. So it's just this cosmetic, the vest. But even then, it's still too much going on. The high contrasting armband looks very out of place. Camo is not something the Spy would wear, because why would he need to wear camo if he can disguise and go invisible? It's silly critiques, but you get my point. It's not something that he would wear, right? I would much like, this looks like something the Demo Man would wear, or something the Soldier would wear, but not the Spy. It's very out of place for the class. And also, it's very puffy. It's very puffy. The boots look odd. It looks like they put the Spy's head on top of a different player model. It doesn't look like the Spy anymore. So this has now fucked with silhouettes, which now fucks with team recognition. So if you saw this from behind, a burlier character from behind, your brain would not be able to immediately connect that with the Spy, because he has a very slim and sleek silhouette. And again, very minor critique, but this does not look like the Spy's feet. His feet are like these very flat, he's got the swanky shoes on, you know? It just doesn't look like the Spy at all. I think this would fuck with class recognition, right? Not team recognition, but this would fuck with class recognition heavily. It just doesn't fit. It's well made, but it doesn't belong by any means. It's not very, and isn't the Spy supposed to be fancy anyways? Yeah, the Spy is supposed to be this classy, fancy gentleman. He's not meant to be this rugged mercenary wearing camo and knee pads and what, it's a TFC reference? Okay, even then, that's Team Fortress Classic, not what Team Fortress 2 currently is. If you're gonna be referencing something from outside media, you need to take, and I've said this before, you need to take special care to make sure it's stylized well enough, not only for the game, but for the class that's going to be wearing it. And if you don't do that, this is the end result. And you're going to get something that looks really out of place, either for the game or for that specific class. Is it out of place for the game? Not quite. Is it out of place for the class? Definitely. Does not belong on the Spy. I'm going to say no thanks to that one for sure. But again, it's well made and definitely fits in the game, just not for the Spy. And oh, my dogs are barking endlessly. Oh, loving it! And they will never stop. Hate dogs so much. Alright, let's see what we got next. Let's do... What is this? This is another ancient cosmetic. 2014. Torontonian. The Torontonian overcoat. This is a reference to something, isn't it? Isn't this a reference? If this isn't a reference to something, I'll be shocked. Dog's just gonna keep barking. I don't know. This is obviously referencing something, but I don't know what it is. It looks fine. It looks okay. Definitely looks like something the Scout would wear. The colors are acceptable. The yellow's a bit off. Like for the shirt. And I hate the fact you can dye it green. That looks like a My Hero Academia character. It's not bad. It's alright. I feel like it's a little too much going on, like with the collar. The collar's a bit odd. Scott Pilgrim. Oh, that's why I don't give a fuck about Scott Pilgrim. Like, Scott Pilgrim was like one of the 4 horsemen of societal change in the West, right? It was this awakening of, how can I put this? Overemphasis on the self. Overemphasis on the self, which led to just the fucking mess we're in society-wise. Society. Just, you know, overfocus on the self, like this crazy, psychotic, woke nature of people. Scott Pilgrim was one of the harbingers of that hell. And I will forever hate that media for that reason. Yeah, kind of an cosmetic. Not my thing. Let's see, what else do we have here? Let's do... Oh. Well. Digital camo works. But not these colors. Oh. Ooh. Okay, so first of all, way too saturated. You do not see this level of saturation on any TF2 textures. The red and the green contrasting against the white. It's way too much. Tone it down. A lot. A lot of TF2 textures have, you see this very subtle kind of paint over gradient like this. Every TF2 texture has that. This weapon lacks it in its entirety. So it's not only flat with its but it's hyper saturated and it's very flat at the same time. The digital camo works kind of, but the colors are just abysmal. You need to completely rework the color palette on this. It just does not. It doesn't fit at all. Does not belong in the game whatsoever. Dear God. It looks like it was drawn in MS Paint. actually. I would not be surprised. What are people saying about this? Apparently he made a purple one too. Oh dear. Not a good skin. That's just... That one is just unfortunate. Probably his first war paint. I hope he improves. Avoid overly saturated colors. Avoid fine details. Let me go. I already... Like my history here. Like, avoid fine details. Let's go into this a little bit more. Avoid saturated colors. Note in TF2, like, this is a TF2 backdrop. Do you see any hyper-saturated colors like that in this game? In the skybox, on weapons, on player models, on buildings, on the ground, on weapons, you do not see that level of saturation anywhere in TF2. Therefore, totally avoid it. Otherwise, it's going to be a nasty eyesore, it's going to look out of place. Avoid those colors completely. Heavily tone them down. Back up on the saturation. That's already a good first step. Second, digital camo worked well on something like the sand cannon, because if we go to the sand cannon real quick, where are you? If we go to the sand cannon real quick, the blocks on this texture are a lot bigger, right? So the finer details are blown up significantly, so it's not hideously busy and noisy, and that helps it a lot. And what helps this one too is all of the colors are on the same palette. You go from yellow to dark tan, and that works well. On this, the digital pixels on this are a lot smaller, and you don't have what the sand cannon has, where you have kind of this banding outward from you're going from dark to light. They've kind of incorporated that gradient from dark to light, and the color makes the colors look good. But then you go back to this, and you have harsh contrast between white and green and red, and that looks very, very poor. So, not only are the colors overly saturated, you have harshly contrasting colors juxtaposed against each other, and it's just, again, makes for a really nasty eyesore. You need to avoid those two things like the plague. And also, another cardinal sin that so many people do on so many of their item contributions, not just war paints, but on cosmetics as well, avoid flat black and avoid flat white. They do not exist in the game, aside from the fact you can paint hats black and white, which is fucking stupid. Avoid those colors. Use toned down versions. Work with your grayscales. Grays and more natural, neutral colors are your best friend with TF2. Look to your browns, look to your oranges, look to your grays, and you can make a lot with just that. Your tans, all of that. Avoid these very saturated colors, and make sure you avoid overly saturated white and black. Digital camo can work, but you gotta tweak it a lot in order for it to be something good. Let's see here. Let's get a couple more links pulled up. Make sure I've not seen these things. I've not seen this one before. This is a recent edition. The Phantom Shotgun. Somewhat natural, say Havana? Havana aroma. This is obviously referencing something. I don't know what it is, though. But it looks cool as shit. I like it. There was another shotgun made that was like the comic book shotgun. This one succeeded where that one failed. Where it's stylized, but it still looks like it would fit in TF2. Not quite sure what they were going for with this patch here. Phantom Cigar, again, this is again referencing something that a piece of media that I don't know. I like it, it's cool. I think this is well made, I dig it a lot. Download as a mod for the Dragon Slayer shotgun. Okay, so it's a Dragon Slayer, just for the shotgun though, which is fine. I dig it. This is well made. I would say definitely yes. This is pretty cool. I'd like to see it in the game. I dig the front especially. That looks cool. Nice little glowing features like that are pretty neat because you can do a lot with albedo tints in TF2. You can do some neat stuff. It's well made. I don't quite, again, it's probably because I don't understand the reference, but this little patch here looks a little out of place. It's not on the play side, so you're not really going to see it. It's a small enough detail that you're not going to see it in-game if other people are using it. But the colors are great. Overall design and concept are gorgeous. It's very well done. Very good stuff. Really well made. I like it. Supposed to be Torbjorn's gun from Overwatch. Again, I wouldn't fucking know. Would have no idea. Because I don't play Overwatch, I don't give a shit about that game. But again, if it is a reference to something outside of TF2, guess what they did? They stylized it to make it look like it belongs in TF2. They paid attention to the game they're making the item for. They did the right thing. Good stuff. Overwatch is only good for the porn. Let's see. A few... Wow, another wave of links here. Don't think I've looked at this one before, but I hate this skin so much. Oh, dear God. Well, several things are wrong with this war paint. So you have the color problem, where it's a little too saturated. The colors are a little bit out of place. Definitely not something you'd see in TF2. Main texture is a little bit too busy with all the dots and the fire. The fire is stylized properly to where it would look okay inside of TF2, but the colors are your biggest problem. It's like, it's just really overly flashy. It's not the worst offender. There are definitely worse skins that have been put in this game before that have a major problem with colors, but this just doesn't quite fit the bill for TF2. It's not a disgusting offender by any means, but it just doesn't belong. I don't know what they could do. I think my main issue is you have what's almost pink, pinkish cherry red, contrasting with this very almost white blue on the same weapon. And again, you have this juxtaposition right here of this gradient. That makes it look pretty gnarly. The darker bits work better together, but this right here is not so well done. The black is the only thing this weapon has going for it. It balances out the loudness of this texture quite well. I think... Oh, what could they do? There's one of... They should do one of two things for this. They should either adjust the colors or heavily simplify this primary texture, because both of those things together make it a little bit too busy and a little bit too flashy. They gotta reduce one or the other. If they do both, then it wouldn't look as good. So dial back on the primary texture, perhaps get rid of the flames. If you just got rid of the flames on this and kept like the polka dots, like the ashy dots, that would look cool. That might look good. More subtle gradient, and you know, make the gradient a little more subtle, not so harsh between the blue and the red. And I think you'd be onto something here. But it needs work. It's close, but it needs work. It needs work. All right, what else we got here? Pardon me as I sneeze again. All right, come on. Oh, fuck me, dude. Okay, so like, my allergies are kicking my ass right now. The air quality here is so fucking bad. Like, it hasn't rained here in so long, and it feels like there's like an ant colony just in my left nostril that keeps like biting at my mucous membrane up here. And so like every 2 minutes or every 20 seconds to 2 minutes, it feels like someone's like wriggling a Q-tip all the way up in my sinuses, and it makes my fucking nose run. It sucks. Hate this. Fucking annoying. You look like shit. Thank you. I appreciate that. I try to look my best every day. What is this? My God. Whoa. I mean, where do I even start? Well, oh God, I'm trying to think of something positive to say before I start ripping this thing apart. It's a little hard. Yeah, okay, so I guess concept-wise, like, even the concept doesn't work that well, because you're trying to incorporate modern art into a heavily stylized game that makes it look older. The colors, okay, so, like, to me, the colors look awful. Yeah, was this intentionally made to be bad? I feel like you're hitting on something here. I base this war paint on the idea of painting in general, mixed with a parody of idea of modern design sensibilities in the real world, making it come off as, yeah, this will never catch on by the other classes who see it. Okay. But at the same time, he, like, put it on the workshop. It's just really bad. It's so bad. Oh, it's got a... Oh, hey, that's something I've not seen before. It has a custom scratch texture. What? That's new. Okay. You're getting some points back here. I like that. Can you put that on something else? Please? Guy who made this war paint, can you put that on something else? Like a rust themed war paint, or like stone, or something that makes it look like a beat to fuck machine with that kind of custom wear on it. It's like hexagons or something. Or it looks like dirt, right? It looks like it's dirty. Like dirty, oh, like a worn down leather, like a dirty leather. Ooh, that'd be fucking sick. Okay, your skin is disgusting. I hate it. There's no redeeming qualities for it whatsoever. But the custom scratching texture you've got on this, please apply it to something else, because you could do a lot with that. That's fucking badass, all right? But the rest of this is awful. The colors are too saturated, the main texture's too busy, you're incorporating a three-dimensional design onto a game that has otherwise very two-dimensional flat textures. Not flat in terms of color, but flat in terms of depth, right? Things that have too much depth don't look that good on a TF2 texture. And, yeah, that's about it. But the custom scratching on this is a really neat idea. I've not seen someone do this yet. Please put that on other stuff. I think that's a cool thing to do, but this overall is just... You know. I updated my team-colored copy. Give me criticism. Yes. Okay, so Monkey has asked me to critique his war paint here. Alright, already, thank you for putting your screenshots against a backdrop of the game. Already kudos for that. Let's see how this looks. You got the wood. You nailed down the wood. I like the team variant a lot. I like the lighter tan versus like the darker mahogany. That's really good. Very well done. I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it. I think you got it. That looks really good. It's really well done. Add it. Like fucking, you like a fucking slow clap. There you go, slow clap. This is meant to be wood, right? Hey, Coyote. Monkey, this is meant to be wood, correct? Because one critique I can give on this is that I see what you did here. You smeared and swirled this texture to what I assume you try to make it look like knots in the wood, and I think you failed there. Again, this is an incredibly minor nitpick, right? Like, don't take this as like the end all and be all. It's an incredibly minor nitpick. But I think because you opted to swirl the wood texture here instead of like trying to hand draw the individual, I guess you call them lines in the wood, the rings in the wood, and like hand drawing some wood knots in there, that it clashes with this texture a little bit, because you have the swirliness here and the swirliness here. And so, like for example, this pattern doesn't look bad, right? Because you don't get like a knot of the swirls there, but I was noticing it on the rocket launchers a little bit. It's like certain, I feel like, hold on, let me see if I can, yeah, here. Like, that looks a bit odd. This smear looks strange. I think you were safe. I think you were safe to keep those wood grains a little bit more, or rather, keep them horizontal. Keep them more horizontal. The smears don't really add much. It just makes it a little bit more It's too swirly. I can't find the right words. It makes it too smeary and swirly, and it contrasts with the swirliness of the metal texture. But aside from that, again, this is an incredibly minor nitpick, and yeah, the wood is very hard to make. I know how hard it is to do these textures, and I admire people such as yourself that put forth the time and effort to make these textures like this. It takes a lot of work, but I think if you simplify the wood texture a little bit, just to make it so the wood grains are they're parallel to each other rather than swirly, I think that'd be a good thing. And maybe a couple, you know, add some grit to it, a little bit of grit. Maybe a couple wood knots would help. And people are pointing out that it looks a little odd, that some contrast. Maybe, Coyote, I think you might be onto something. I don't know. Looking at it here, like this is like a rendered screenshot, but if you look at it how it looks in game, I think it's okay. It's like I'm looking at it being held. It looks pretty good here. Maybe I see what you mean. Maybe play with the levels a little bit on the metal texture to see if you can get the banded nature of it to pop a little bit more. Because if you look at like Damascus mahogany, right? Like you have a decent amount of contrast between the darker gray and the lighter gray, so those bands pop out a little bit more. I think you might want to tweak the levels a little bit. Just again, another very, very minor nitpick. At this point, you've already made like a 9.5 out of 10 Warpaint, right? It's already perfect. It definitely belongs in the game. It's incredibly well made. I'm just gonna poke at you a little bit to go the little extra mile to get it to like an 11 out of 10, because I want this to be an 11 out of 10 for you. I think tweak the color levels a little bit. Tweak it to see if you can get some more contrast on there, and then get rid of the smudges on the wood pattern, and then I think you've got something perfect. I think that's what you need to do. I think. What if blue had a more silver color? I don't think it needs it. I don't think that's what he's going for here. I think having it just be a slightly more bluish tinged, you know, a slightly more bluish tinge to it rather than like a silver is good. Because if you incorporate silver, then at higher wears, might not look as good. Because a weapon like this, like Damascus mahogany, looks good at higher wear because the colors match the colors of the many weapon models. So it looks pretty good. It'll look like dog shit on the airstrike, but let's face it, most Warpaints look like dog shit on the airstrike and anything other than factory new. But I think you've done something great here. It's very well done. Again, couple of small, itty-bitty tiny tweaks you could make to this, and then it would be fucking perfect, in my opinion. Yeah, this screenshot really shows what that person was talking about in terms of contrast. Because if you're looking at this pre-rendered screenshot here, right? The albedo tint helps give that contrast where the shine is hitting it, so you can see the bands here. But in this particular screenshot, you're not getting any of the light angling off of it, so it looks fairly flat. And it's not quite the fault of the tint. I think if you just tweak the colors a little bit, you can get that contrast you need without having the need for the light to fall on it to give the appearance of that banding. I think that's what you should do. Fat Soldier? What does Fat Soldier look like? Oh god, I hate this so much. I don't like the fat mercs. Can we stop this? It's so dumb. Yeah, it's awful. I really hate it. No more fat mercenaries. You need a forge. How would a fat pyro look? How could you make pyro look fat? Jane Doe. Funny. Get it? D-O-U-G-H. Doe. More fat mercenaries. Oh, I saw this one. Here we go. This is a reference to Red Dead Redemption. And hey, you know what they did? They stylized it to make it look like it belongs to TF2. The hair's a bit off, though. Like, the engineer's bald. That's a dumb critique, I know, but do not Google Fat Pyro. Oh, I'm gonna do that right now. Fat Pyro TF2. Okay, I don't know what I was expecting. Because I got exactly what I was expecting. I cannot show this on stream, by the way. It's really bad. Oh my god. What is this, dude? Like, I tend to forget that there is an entire world out there of inflation artists that are really into this shit. Well, if you're over the age of 18 and you're curious as to what Google returns for Fat Pyro TF2, please make sure you do it when no one else is looking. Otherwise, you're going to find something you don't want to see. Anyway, aside from the hair, I like it. I think it's pretty cool. I like the, you know, we have a plethora of cowboy-themed stuff for the engineer already. And I suppose giving him hair is something different. It's a little bit of a breath of fresh air. It doesn't look bad. I take that back. The hair doesn't look nearly as bad as because I've seen some poorly styled hair before for TF2 hats, and this is quite good. And here's something else too. If making a cosmetic like this, if you can mix and match it with a bunch of other pre-existing stuff, you've already done a good thing. And you could do a lot with this. You could do a lot of neat stuff. It's great because, again, this looks like something the fucking engineer would wear, right? It's good. Pretty well made. And of course you can dye it multiple, you can have a fucking, oh god, why do you have to make the hair paintable? Stop it. Enough with the paintable hairs. You know what? I say yes. I say yes to this hat. I too would wear this. I too would wear this hat because it kind of looks like my hair when I wear a cowboy hat. It's just long enough to be poking out from underneath the hat. I have it in a fucking ponytail right now. I gotta get a haircut. My hair's getting too long. But it's good. I dig the hat. You'd wear it? I'd wear it. Hello, Cheesers. That's an interesting name. I think it would look awesome with my coffin nail. Oh, you could definitely make a kick-ass loadout with this, dude. Like, with the fucking Frontier Justice. Even like the Frontier Justice. You could do a lot with this. Another good cowboy hat for the engineer would definitely not hurt. It's definitely better than what we've been getting as of late. For sure. You know, no more weird, goofy, wacky crap. Also, I think I missed a subscription earlier. Clona Akuma, thank you. I totally missed that earlier. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Let's see. Pretty great purple war paint, in my humble opinion. I think I've seen this one already. I don't know if I'm not sure if I reviewed this one already. Part of me as I wipe my nose with my shirt again. I should probably get tissues. I'll hold off on looking at that one again because I think I've seen that one before. Let me pull a different thing here. What is this? Bio Backstabber Knife. It's a leaf. It's a fucking leaf. Okay. Sure. I mean, sure. It's not bad. It's cute. I don't see anything wrong or offensive with this. It's a leaf. It's like a little gag. The wood looks good. The wood looks good. The metal elements, the color scheme is great, right? It's not like you nailed the color scheme here. This is, I'll say yes to this. It's good. It's a quirky little thing. I dig it. Like, I could see this being as like a part of like if they did like a Borneo collection, right? Like how they did the Harvest collection, like they based a collection of skins after a map. Like if they did a Borneo collection, I could definitely see this as like an assassin grade in the Borneo collection, you know? It's pretty cool. I like this. It's cute. Cute, clever. I dig it. And it fits the game quite well because there's also a lot of jungle-themed maps these days. It's good. Applause. What if the spy had a ghillie suit to match with this? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know. If you're gonna make a ghillie suit for the spy, you'd have to handle it very carefully. Also, my music just ended, so let me find something else to listen to here. Pardon me a moment. Give me music. Give me some Metroid music. Because I like Metroid music. What's this here? I've seen that one before. What's this? Tactical Espionage Agent. See, this is way more akin to what the spy would wear, you know, it's like, it's a little too much. I feel like they just took like the, oh, excuse me. God, my allergies are kicking my ass. I feel like there's too much going on here. I feel like if they removed all of the straps and the pouches, then it would be better. Like, if he just kept the high collar and, like, the turtleneck, that would be great. But you got too much on the spy. It's kind of making him look like he's the Batman without the mask, you know? I think if he got rid of the straps and whatnot, be a lot better. Or, like, and maybe keep, like, one pouch or something, right? Something. But you got too much going on here. Spy needs more good turtlenecks, I think. Like a good high turtleneck with a high collar. I like that a lot. Just make that its own separate cosmetic. And then I think that'd be good. For sure. And N gave 2 gift subs. Thank you, sir. You were too kind. Styles would help. I don't like the dark stuff on it. Yeah, I'm in complete agreement with that. All the dark little detail stuff is just not... doesn't do it any favors. You know what? Sometimes simpler is better. Sometimes simpler is better. Let's see, I'm gonna pull another from the pile here. The Jailbird Collection. It's a little flat. It's a little flat. It needs a little bit of texture. It needs something on it. The flat metal, and the metal definitely needs some texture. You need some the cloth black and white stripes have it. You can see there's a little bit of there's some scuffed to it, but again, their problem is that they went with black contrasting against white, and that is very hard to pull off and make look good inside of TF2. And they did the smart thing. It's not fully saturated white and fully saturated black. They toned it down. And you can see you have like the subtle painted on gradients that you see in a lot of other TF2 textures. You can faintly see it in the gray of the shotgun. I just think that contrasting black and white are very hard to get right inside of TF2. And I don't think it looks good for that reason. It looks a little off. It's too noisy. I like the concept, but I feel like they could do something else instead of the black and white stripes. I understand, like, the black and white stripes, it's meant to be look like the old jail uniforms, what have you. It's meant to be styled against that, but I just don't think it looks good. I don't know if it's the thickness of the stripes, or if it's just the fact you have black contrasting hard against white. It's hard to say, but I just don't think this quite works. I like the orange and the gray. Naturally, can't go wrong with those colors inside of TF2. Look very good. It's not bad on the pistol, but then if you look at the revolver and the shotgun, you're getting too many of the stripes. So it's busy. It's very noisy. What could they do? What could they do? How could they improve this? I like the sewn on tag. Oh, well, let me see like old prison uniform. I mean, they hit the nail on the head with how old prison uniforms look like. With the black and white stripes. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say what they could do. Yeah, the revolver's really loud. The revolver's very loud. I don't know. I don't... What could they do? What could they do? It's hard to say. I think this one's a miss. I think I know who made this one. Yeah, this guy's made a couple of other things that are okay, but this one's a bit of a miss. I think some tweaking of the colors is in order. Stripes work in TF2, that's been shown before, but something about the black and white just don't quite sit right with me. I don't know, and looking at it in game, it's not too bad. I think it's because these screenshots here are having it contrast against just a single texture, not like the entirety of the game. It works for the pistol. It works for the shotgun. I think the revolver's a miss. The revolver's a miss. And you know why the revolver's a miss? The revolver's a miss for this one reason. You don't have the orange contrasting the stripes enough. On the pistol, you do. You have enough orange close enough to the black and white stripes, and the black and white stripes are spaced out enough to where the noisiness of this is not nearly as bad. Same for the shotgun. You have larger solid colors on this weapon model. that are balancing out the stripes here, especially on the pump here. It's all orange. Contrasting against this helps balance it out. More orange back here. But on here, it's nothing but stripes, and then you have only the gray to balance it out. The orange on the handle is too far away. So it looks out of place in the revolver. The pistol and the shotgun get a pass. The revolver does not. The revolver does not get a pass. Pistol and shotgun, fine. Revolver. And again, this goes back to what I said earlier, in that it is very, very hard to get one war paint concept to look good on every single weapon model. So I can't really fault the guy for that. I really can't. It just happens. Pistol and shotgun are fine. Revolver, not so much. Let's see. I think I've seen this one before. I don't recall if I've looked at it on stream before. Agency. Man, do I love the colors on this one. Oh, you can do a lot with just TF orange, man. You can make some good looking shit. Thank you to whoever made this one because, oh, it looks nice. I feel like the tertiary color could have been something else. Or, I don't know. I'm not sure. Let me see. Any more screenshots? Actually, no, I changed my mind. Yeah, that's it. I voted yes for this already. This is old as well. 2018. So we'll never see this in game, unfortunately. But no, this is good. I like it. Like, you can't go wrong with a simple design with TF orange and dark gray. Because guess what you see in TF2? Lots of oranges and tans, and a lot of fucking gray. And man, did they play off that well, and it looks fucking good. And man, they got a TF logo on there too to look good and not look like an obnoxious sticker. I like it. I like this war paint. I wish it was in game, but we'll never see it. Kinda sucks. This is a better MISC for Spy. That's a 10 out of 10 war paint. This is better. I don't know. Again, we're suffering from the same problem of wanting to put too much shit on a player model with cosmetics like this. The straps just don't do it for me. It's too much. It's too much. Again, you have like the dark armband, you have the straps, then you have the zipper in the pockets. You got too much stuff going on here. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. It's definitely better than the last one in that you don't have like 50 fucking pockets, like one under the arm and on the sides. Is it revolver ocelot? Okay. But and of course you can dye it because why not? Ugh. This is an ancient cosmetic as well, 2014. Well, not like we'll ever get to see this in game either. But you know what? It's not terrible. Not terrible. Again, it just got too much going on. Too much with the zipper, too much with the pockets. No, it's just it's too busy. You gotta cut back on a couple things. Oh, you got a fucking waifu review from Mr. Handfeger. You gotta say what it is, man. You gotta tell me who it is. You must elaborate as to who it is before I can give the proper review. But what I do if one day I was invited to Valve HQ, that's never gonna happen, so I don't know how to answer that. Tifa Lockhart, oh, it's such a basic bitch. Such a basic bitch request for the waifu review. You could have thrown anything at me and you throw me Tifa fucking Lockhart, the one character that thousands upon thousands, hundreds of thousands of women have cosplayed, pounds of digital art because you can weigh the amount of art she has online digitally because there's enough like atoms of art online taking up enough space to have like physical weight naturally. It's such a basic bitch request. And it's like she is the most fucking neutral character ever. Like their most basic bitch anime character. Long black hair, pasty white skin, big boobs, but also skinny as a rail. It's like, come on. You just... And of course, yeah, it is the Italy joke because there was some meeting. Was it politicians or something? They had like, it was like politicians were having a meeting and someone pulls up their fucking screen and it's like, it's a source filmmaker porn of Tifa getting railed. Oh, that was funny. I understand the joke, but at the same time, I'm taking this review seriously. She's like a 4 out of 10. I can't rate her more highly than that. I don't know. I'm so desensitized. I'm so heavily desensitized to anything related to Tifa Lockhart because I had a friend in high school who was really into cosplay and anime. I don't think I've told this before on stream. So, story time here. I had a friend in high school who was really into anime and really into cosplay and whatnot. And she was this munchkin girl. I swear to God, she was like 5'2" or 5'1". She was really short, right? She was really short. She had long black hair, and she had... I don't even think I could properly give her cup size. Her tits were huge. I felt bad for this poor girl's back, dude. She cosplayed as Tifa Lockhart a lot. Like, whenever there was, like, a convention or something, that she cosplayed as this character a lot. And other characters with, like, big boobs and whatnot. So it's like, after seeing her and, like, so many other people cosplay as a character, it's like, there's just nothing special about it anymore, right? There's nothing special about it. It's like, okay, it's this character again. Oh, I've seen it before. I don't know. You're just used to seeing the fucking character. Did I tell the pizza story on this stream? I don't think I told the pizza story. One of my most awkward and cringiest, oh God, put a bullet, oh God, shoot me, please. I can't believe that word just came out of my mouth. Oh, it's the cringiest thing. It's the most, like, what other word? It feels like there's ants on your spine with how embarrassing it is to, like, recall this information in your head, right? So, like, did I tell the pizza story? I think I told the pizza story. I'll tell it again. So, me being the fucking puppy dog I was in high, like, this guy, in looking back at this, admittedly, was hideously embarrassing on my part. Was, like, this chick, like, was, like, very good at, like, getting dudes to do things for her because she had giant boobs. Me included, right? And, like, but she was, like, a friend, but, like, her boobs were, like, the main thing that everyone focused on. One day after school, like, they ordered pizza for the anime club or something, right? I wasn't in this fucking club, I didn't give a shit. And so she asked me to go downstairs to help her get these fucking pizzas from the delivery guy. And this delivery guy was not paying attention, and so he sees, like, the 6'5" high school boy, and then the 5'1" tiny girl. Who does he hand, like, the stack of 12 pizza boxes to? He hands them to her. Like, okay, obviously, like, I'm there to get the fucking pizzas, but this guy hands her the pizzas. The stack of boxes taller than she is, right? And so she's fucking, like, about to fall over with these pizzas, and she hands them to me, and as I'm, like, grabbing the pizzas, right? Like, I put my arms under the boxes, but her boobs were down there too, so I get handfuls of tit before I get the boxes, and I, like, pull the box out as, like, the boobs slide out from my hands, like, from on top of my hands, right? I just didn't acknowledge it, right? I just pretended it didn't. I just pretended it didn't happen, right? I didn't say sorry. Like, for me, it didn't even register what happened, right? Because I was so fucking clueless in high school, dude. When it came to girls, I was hideously clueless, right? And, like, she, like, oh God, I remember this vividly, right? Like, she's standing there, like, embarrassed, like she's kind of, like, just staring at me like, what did you just do? And I'm like, what? I'm, like, holding the fucking pizzas, like, are we gonna go fucking eat some pizza or something? It's not registering with me that I just groped this girl in front of the school. Thankfully, no one was around, because that would have been way fucking worse for her. Like, oh man, I felt, like, looking back on it now, I feel terrible, because that must have been awful. Like, oh my God, I feel like a piece of shit. Ugh, man. So yeah, accidentally groped a girl by getting pizzas. Oops, my bad. If you ever see this, I am terribly sorry that happened, and I apologize sincerely. It did not mean for that to happen. My eyes were on pepperoni. Not those pepperonis, if you know what I'm saying, but, like, edible pepperoni. Bad joke! Moving on. Oh, Christ. Let's see, what do we have next? I've seen that one. I've seen that one. Seen that one. Not seen this one yet. What do we have here? Royal Bundle. I think, yeah, this guy has a problem with making his textures too flat. I think that's the issue here. I like the concept, but it needs some work. Definitely needs some texture. Too many flat colors working with each other here. I like what he's going for a lot. It looks good, but I think you need some work on the textures here for sure. It's very close to being a good skin. It's up there. It's up there with being close to being good. But I also think you have too many colors going on. You have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors. You have 5 different colors. 6 different. You have 6 different colors here. Are these the same color? I think these are the same color. You have 6 different colors going on here with this, which is too much. 5 or 6 different colors going on here, which is too much. So you have to simplify this a little bit. Then you have a lot of other small details, which make certain parts of the weapon model too busy, and then others too empty, right? So you have like this scout emblem here, and this sniper emblem here, and then you have this design on the side, and then you have like these little swirlies on the front. So you got too much going on very localized parts of the weapon model, and then nothing going on here. So for me, you gotta dial it back a little bit more, right? I think if you killed off, like the sniper rifle looks better than the scattergun. You kill off either this emblem or this emblem. Kill off this one, because this one does nothing for it. I like the custom scout icon more, and I like the custom sniper rifle too much. Dial back on this, get rid of that, and it would look a lot better. As for this, I think the sniper rifle looks good. I think if you got rid of this icon on the side here, or put this scout icon on here, like put the shoe on the drum, I guess you call it, that would be better. And then get rid of this TF logo. And then you'd be way better. And then you might need to get a little bit of texture onto either this tan, like make it look more beat up like concrete perhaps. And you could keep the red and the blue as sleek, that'd be fine, but you gotta give some texture to one or the other. And I think you should get some texture onto this tan part here. Because you have texture on this ivory bit, whatever you want to call this. There's texture there, you can see it. And give me some of that on here. And you can keep the black parts, you can keep those as flat, you can keep the team colored bits as flat. And then I think it'd be good. I think it'd be good. I'll say yes. I'll say yes to it. I'd like to see it. I'd also like to see some improvements. But it's good as is. It's acceptable. You fucking lied to me, you said you've never felt the touch of a woman's boobs. That doesn't count. It was an accident. And it was through clothes. It doesn't matter. And like a bra. It doesn't matter. Find the skin looks quite orderly as is. Having too many flat skins is plain boring. You need to have some... I mean, yeah, you gotta have some spice, but you have to balance out the spice, you know? This one is very cool. Autograph kit. April 2016. So this is a concept that will never be added. Add a personal signature to an eligible item. Oh man, you know people would abuse the ever-living shit out of this. Oh, it's a neat concept, but man, you would see a lot of dicks. You'd see a lot of dicks, you'd see a lot of bad stuff. It wouldn't be just limited to dicks and balls and whatnot. You'd see a lot worse stuff. People would, like, take their time to draw shit, right? Porn, perhaps. It would be a moderation nightmare. Like, if it was limited to just, like... If it was limited to, like a font, like a signature script font, that you could just type and it would make the words, fine. But my assumption here is that you're allowed to draw in this space, right? So if you can draw in this space, moderation nightmare, probably not a good idea. Valve only cares when people kind of yell at them to care, right? Even though their fixes for their whatever you want to call it, the mean words that people get very upset when they see. They just can't go on with their day if they see a mean word, right? It gets their panties in a twist. Oh, I've seen a word that is very offensive, and now I have to cry about it on the internet. It's like, it's a fucking word. Beyond that, moderation nightmare. Don't think Valve cares, and as they should, keep not caring. Smart thing to do, in my opinion. Just don't. Anyway, moderation nightmare. Like the idea, cute, but god, it could go wrong in so many ways. If they cared about that, they wouldn't let people use the objector in pubs, and that's what makes TF2 great, is that you could do a lot of crazy shit like that. What the fuck is this unusual effect? It's just explosions on your head. Wow, that's busy. Oh, that is too much, dude. Whoa, god. So remember when I said earlier that simple unusual effects are a good idea? Purple energy, green energy, frostbite. Those are simple effects. This is a mess. Oh my sweet Jesus, you have... No. No. That's just a no from me. It's too busy. It's too busy. It's too busy, it's too noisy. It looks really, really bad. That was just bad. No bueno. Mega no bueno. Oh god, my nose is still fucking running. It's driving me insane. Ah. Oh Christ. Alright, I'm gonna go through a few more here. Seen that one. Not seen this one. Knee Deep Knocker. Okay. Okay, don't do this, by the way. This is a photograph of a jungle. Please put it against the backdrop of TF2. I'd like to see how it looks in-game, but we have no way to see how this looks in-game. So I can't tell. It looks to me, at first glance, that yeah, the colors are good. It looked like they'd fit just fine. But again, you've placed it against the photograph of a jungle, so I have no fucking clue. Also, why pink? Don't do that. Don't do a rare, cute, quirky pink thing. Just keep the colors as if though they fit in the game just fine. Yeah, they got the metal textures just fine. Yeah? I mean, yeah, it's good. RNG rare colors and RNG patterns. I don't mind RNG pattern, but RNG rare colors is not a good idea. Just make the colors fit the game. If you need to make your war paint appealing by having rare shit on it, you've not made a good war paint, in my opinion. This war paint does not need the rare wacky shit because in and of itself, it's perfectly fine. But if you have to put the rare wacky sticker, if you have to put the rare bright colors, if you have to do that for your war paint, you've not done a good job. Because you're having to boost art, you have to boost appeal artificially by adding something that doesn't have to do with the main composition. And that's your big fucking mistake. So, make sure you do a good job initially and don't add that kind of crap, because it becomes an eyesore. But yeah, I mean, aside from the fact you get a random color that doesn't fit the game at all, and can contrast heavily with the other main colors it has. See, like, the blue looks odd. That looks pink and green together. Ugh, ugly as shit. Don't do that. Like, this is fine. You can just keep it as the colors that fit in the game. You have the browns, the yellows, the tans, the greens. That's perfectly acceptable. That is not. Why the RNG color? Why would you do that? Come on now. Aside from that, pretty good. I'll say yes. Just get rid of the random color on it. Yeah, the RNG pattern is good. The RNG pattern's cool. I do appreciate that. It's a neat concept. I dig it. Sweet. It looks like a darker backwood. This is effectively a better backwoods boomstick. Yeah, it's pretty good. But again, it's hard to tell if this blotchy pattern would look good in TF2 because like I'm trying to envision it in my mind in the game, like with the backdrop of the game behind it. You get away with it with backwoods boomstick, right? You can do that, and also Forest Fire Mark II works. I think this one would work too. Just get rid of the colors that don't fit the game, you know? I mean, yeah, this is a really cool Halloween cosmetic. It's actually really fucking cool. I'd like to see this in game as a Halloween cosmetic. Beyond that, I don't know what else to say. Yes to this, unfortunately, it was made in 2015, and it will never be put in the game. Because it will never be seen. Man. Remember when they used to make Halloween cosmetics that fit the class they were made for? And like, a lot of effort and thought went into their creation to make something that's unique and really neat for the game? Remember when creators used to do that way back in 2015? Instead of just making, oh wow, witch hat number 37, or random fucking thing number 99. Slapped on your weapon model. Remember those days? Man. Those were the days. Those were the days. We don't get that anymore. This is cool. It's a shame we'll never see it. Fucking sucks. The music's very low. I apologize. I just realized that it was that low. Yeah, we have something similar to it, which is just an infinitely inferior version where just like the back of his head is metal. And not this, like, Terminator-style robot head, which is really fucking cool. Love to see that, but never see it. Oh, God. Please. Okay, so I would like to say... Listen. I would like to say, on the record, right here and now, ladies and gentlemen, that Frosty Supernova has predicted the next elite grade for the Scream Fortress 2022 Halloween case. You have predicted the elite grade. Within, at some point this year, you are going to see a towering pile of spellbooks, a towering pillar of spellbooks item on the workshop, and it's going to get accepted into the fucking game. I guarantee it. You have predicted the shitty elite grade for the year. Congratulations. I will delete my inventory if that does not happen. Lab Rat. Okay. Portal themed. Portal themed. Okay. Okay. The yellow's a bit off. The yellow and blue, like, I get you're trying to match the port. Why is this not orange? Like, if you had just made this orange, like a TF orange, and then like a blue team blue, right? If you stylize those colors a little bit more to fit the TF2 color palette, this would be perfect. But the white's a little too saturated, the black's a little too dark, and the yellow and the blue are also a little bit too saturated. If you made the yellow more akin to TF orange, like the orange portals, perfect. If you made the blue a little bit less saturated, be great. I don't like the blue tread texture thing going on here. A little strange. I think that would be better if it was a solid color, like a solid black. Or, yeah, like a solid muted black with some of like the subtle texture to it. Yeah, the white is too saturated. It has texture to it. You can see it with like the drips and drops and like and also the tile on there. So I think the best texture on this is the white tile. And I think if they tweak the rest of the textures on this, it'd look very good. Because looking at this, it's way too saturated. The black doesn't look too bad. I think the main problem is the yellow and the blue. I think if they tweak the yellow and the blue, it'd be good. It'd be good. Not bad. Added in 2018, so we'll never see it in game, unfortunately. Alright, what else we got here? We saw that one. I've seen this. I've not seen this. This war paint has been a work in progress for a very, very, very long time. I assume this is the same guy who's done other variants of this same war paint before. I'm not sure. I've seen a war paint like this before. With the Samovarid, I don't know how you say it. Samovarid? Not sure. I've seen this before. I think this is the same guy who's been working on this weapon for a long time, but wow, it's busy. But unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast with this type of pattern. It looks cool. Like, I could see this as an elite grade. If they made this rare as an elite grade, the colors fit the game just fine. It looks really neat. A lot of work. It's very well done. It's very, very well made. Like, seriously, 10 out of 10. A for effort. Really fucking nice. Medigun looks really fucking busy, though. It's really cluttered and really busy. But I don't think that was something you could avoid when you're working with this kind of a concept. And also, it would look very out of place on blue team. Or you'd have to make the reds into blue instead. Which I think would look fine as well. Like, if you made if you did the dark red into like a dark blue, I think it'd be good. But aside from that, I could see this. I could see this working. It's just unfortunately cluttered and unfortunately busy. But I'm remembering previous iterations of this war paint that I think this guy's made, and it used to be a lot worse. Like, it looked very clip arty. But now you can tell this is like really, this is really evolved into something that's pretty fucking good. The black on this one, you can get away with, because it's very saturated, very dark, but it helps balance out the really cluttered, bright, busy colors on this. Most of the time, this level of saturation in black would not work on a weapon model, but you see enough of like the gradients and the painted on gradient, like the paint swipes and the diginess on this enough to where it works quite well. Mostly contrasting with the gold, which is nice, and not the red, because the red would make it too dark, but it's contrasting more with the brighter gold, which I think helps a lot. It's quite good. It's very good. Those patterns are used as decorations on old Soviet wooden spoons. There you go. Samovars. 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 Russian teapots, effectively? Ah, here we go. This is what they are. Check that out. Okay, there you go. I see what they did here. That's cool. Very nice. Yeah. This one gets a pass, I would say, for sure. It gets a pass. It's pretty well made. Alright, I'm gonna do a couple more here. Let's do another unusual effect. Angel Portal. See, again, like, we've come back to the issue of unusual effects just being these big, bright, massive balls of energy around your head. And the bigger and the brighter and the flashier, the fucking better. You know, it's like we're coming away from uniqueness in unusual effects, and now we're just going for like bright neon colors, which really bugs me. Conceptually, yeah, it's cool. Yes, it's well made. I'm just really, really, really tired of seeing unusual effects like this. They're playing into like the custom shape of the effect. Like how they recently figured out you could change the direction particles are moving, get like horns and whatnot. And a couple of those work quite well, but just I don't know, man. I'm sick of seeing these. We need more unique shit, like that fucking fire crown from earlier. That's fucking badass. Really, this is just another variant of the fire horns or the deer antlers we got. This is just gonna be another one of those effects. Again, it's well made, but we don't need more stuff like this in TF2. We need more effects that look like they kind of fit and just aren't like ripped from another video game, because like a lot of the other energy effects we've gotten as of late was just a lot of the ones we got in winter just were like, oof, too much, right? But like the Devilish Diablo is nice because they at least somewhat made at least the fire, like the reddish orange one looks like fire. That at least looked like it fit in TF2. Like the purple ones and the green ones, it's like when they started doing color palette swaps of the different effects, that's when you really started to lose me. It's just getting to be mediocre. This is okay. I just don't want to see it in game. It's well made, good design, but just, you know, I don't want more of these. I need more unique shit, you know? Need more unique shit. Have I seen these? Yeah, again with the weapon accessories, it's just adding unnecessary clutter to your weapon model. Like, nothing like having a big fucking flashlight at the end of your revolver, you know? It's, I don't know, again, it just adds more unnecessary clutter to your weapon model. And again, a lot of stuff that goes into play for Team Fortress 2 is weapon recognition. You have sounds, you have visual cues and whatnot that tell you what weapon is being used by your enemy. And then if you have something that resembles a normalizing component across weapon models, like skins, war paints do impact weapon recognition, especially between things like the reserve shooter and the shotgun, between different flare guns, things of that nature. So you have to wait until the weapon is fired in order to either hear or see the projectile to figure out what weapon they're using, right? Or until you die to it, then you know. You're adding visual clutter like this to a weapon. Some things it wouldn't be an issue with, but with others it could be. You're just putting more noise into a game that is very good at eliminating noise around the classes being played. It's the whole silhouette thing. You can immediately tell at a glance what class it is, and most of the time, what weapon they're using, right? You put a big bulky thing on here, and it detracts from that. It looks cool, but it's just not for TF2. A weapon accessory like this just does not fit in the game, in my opinion. I don't think it belongs. Again, it's well made, it's a cute concept, but it doesn't belong. It would, in my opinion, impact the heavy stylization of the game too much. I want something that's not Christmas lights. Me too. Is anyone else tired of Christmas fucking lights? Fucking Christmas lights? Christmas lights, fuck. I'm so tired of just fucking Christmas lights and Christmas trees. Shit. I'm so tired of it. Ah, God. I honestly can't wait to see what they're fucking gonna come up with this year on the workshop. Maybe we'll get fucking slippers that look like individual Christmas lights. Oh, Christ. So fucking over it. I mean, this is an old, this is just an old mod. This is from 2014. I mean, it looks cool, but it's just a goofy shotgun reskin. Yeah. Fuck Easter! Get the fucking Easter up! They get the fucking Easter bunny and bunny ears and bunny rabbits, dude. That would be so bad. Okay, this is like a cute mod you'd see on like a custom weapon server or something, but does it belong in the game? Absolutely not. Is it cool as shit? Yeah, it's fucking cool as shit. It's neat. It's nifty. I dig it. Doesn't belong in the game though. Alright, I do apologize. I do apologize for getting gassed out pretty quickly here. I don't feel well. Yeah, I was hoping my allergies wouldn't be hitting me this hard, but now that I've been talking for almost 2 hours, that it's starting to impact me a little bit. So I'll do a couple more. Lucky 8. See, listen. I don't know. Did this guy put his shit on the workshop? There is a specific effect that I want to show you that this guy also made. Hold on a minute. Let me find it. He sent it to me in DMs. Because he did the fire crown, but he also made this one that I think is really fucking good. Where are you? Where are you? He made this one as well. Cosmic Dizziness. I want to see more unusual effects like this, please. I want to go back to things that are more unique, that aren't just big balls of energy on top of people's heads. I want a little more effort put into these things, where they're just not spawning a single particle and having it go in one or two directions, right? This guy took the time to animate shit orbiting around the head. He hand drew the planets. He put the little comets in there. He put the stars in there. It looks really fucking cool. This is a kick-ass unusual effect, and it's not just another fucking clip art shower or like energy horns and fire and other just like, oh, so tired of seeing it. This more subtle, like unusual, again, unusual effects don't need to be these massive, gaudy, eye-catching pieces of crap, right? You can make unusual effects like this that are just as fucking cool. You can make a lot of neat loadouts with this. You can do a lot, it's, like, effects like this have so much potential. And it's a shame that creators only focus on just, like, I don't even know how to describe it anymore, just these massive, gaudy fuck. Massive, gaudy fuck. Because I can't think of another word for it. More stuff like this, please. Seriously. Would love to see more effects like this. Okay, I'm getting juiced out here. Oh, wait, hold on. There was the Lucky Ball one that I wanted to see. Tamer effect. Hold on. Lucky Ball. Lucky 8. Again, like this. This is something simple. This could work. I think it's a little big, though. It's a little big, and I think the additional spin on the 8-ball could be slowed down a little bit. But we need people to start going back to simpler concepts like this. Orbiting things, you know? Not just falling clip art, or like hovering clip art, or hovering energy ball, or fire shit coming out of the head. You can make more unique stuff like this. Please. More stuff like that. This is a cool concept. I like it. You can do stuff with this. And again, you can make some cool loadouts. Would it look good on every hat? No. And that's the thing too. I think that's what people are doing on the workshop. Don't know for sure. But it seems like a lot of people who are making unusual effects are not taking into consideration how it would look good on the mercenaries. Like making loadouts with them, or, you know, pairing them with hats and other cosmetics. Their number one concern is making an unusual effect as bright and as flashy as possible to get the attention of the viewer, so it doesn't matter what hat it's on, right? You just want the unusual effect. You don't want the hat paired with the effect, you just want the unusual effect. And a lot of the charm from a lot of older effects, first, second, and third gen, right, is that you had certain effects that would pair very well with certain cosmetics. And you can make a lot of themed loadouts. You had themed unusuals. People try to juice money out of people for those, but they're a real thing, right? You can have like a burning flames pyro hat, or like a smoking or steaming pyro hat. You have the Ace's High hat of cards for spy. You know, the dead president's coup disaster, which you could put on the heavy and make him look like Donald Trump. You have a lot of smaller, more subtle things that you could do. You could combine orbiting planets with neutron star, and you can make space-themed loadouts, or alien-themed loadouts, or like cosmic-themed loadouts. There's so many different things that you could do with a lot of these more unique, unusual effects. But now they're they're like coalescing all of the unusuals to only be big, bright color bombs to make people want to open the cases just for the effects. And then they get this big piece of eye candy on a dog shit hat, right? And all of their value and worth is only coming from the fact that you just have the particle effect. It's really unfortunate. And I would like to see more unusual effects like this that, again, pay attention to the game they're making items for. We need more unusual effects that are stylized for TF2. If you look at any unusual effect that's been added since 2016, most of them don't look like they belong in TF2 whatsoever. They have Christmas lights or energy effects that look like they're outside from a different game, clip art that doesn't look like it belongs in TF2. The last set of stylized effects that I can think of is like 2014 Halloween, I think it was, where we got Arcana, Spellbound, Something Burning This Way Comes, Hellfire. All of those still had flames and animations that looked like they belonged in TF2. But then as we started deviating away from, you know, paying attention to the game's art style, you can thank, again, Valve and the Workshop for that. You started getting more of these color bomb unusual effects with particle effects and energy effects that look like they're from other video games. They just don't fit the style of TF2 whatsoever. And it's just really unfortunate that they just keep pushing that instead of wanting to make something that looks like it fits in the game. It really sucks. It really does. But what can you do? What can you do? I will love this. Dancing robot. I don't love this. It's just a quirky little mod. What purpose does this serve? This is made in 2012, dude. My god, 10 years ago. What? It's like a little cosmetic taunt. Like, I could see this as like a taunt, right? Like, they could turn this into a taunt in some capacity, but this is a cute little cute thing. A little cute thing. You can make a taunt out of it. Oh, yeah, this one. Okay. This is probably one of the best skin additions that we've had on the Workshop recently. This one. There's only one critique that I have for this skin. It's meant to look like a stack of records and like, you know, old-timey vinyl cover album art. There's only one critique I have with this, and it's that these colors here are a little too saturated. If you go to something like the rainbow skins, right? They handled... Where are you? Where are you? What page are you on? Here we go. The rainbow skins, these handled rainbow a lot better. It's a much more washed out set of colors. The red's a bit dark, but it's a much more washed out set of colors here. And I think if they tone, like the blue is good. I think if they tone down the red a little bit, or again, gonna say, maybe if they do something that's team colored and have the gradient go from blue to orange and then from red to orange, that'd be really cool. This is a really kick-ass skin, though. It's a kick-ass concept. I love the execution. They get away with solid black on this one because it's meant to look like vinyl records, and there's enough detailing on the drum of the sticky bomb launcher to give it that depth and texture that a flat black actually needs. And you can see the lines, the grooves of the texture on here, or the grooves of the records as well, so that helps the texture out a little bit. But this is sick. This is a sick war paint, or sick skin, I should say. It's just for a single weapon model. Again, shame we'll never see stuff like this in TF2 because they're only ever going to add war paints from now on. It's well made. an amazing skin. It's really cool shit. Only critique is the colors need a tiny bit of tweaking, but beyond that, it's really good. It's very good. Oh, God. Alright, my allergies are really kicking my ass here. Ugh. Okay, I think I'm gassed out now. I think that's all I got for today. That's about 2 hours. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm gonna figure out how to make my nose stop feeling like it's under assault by a fucking beehive. It's really bugging me. So thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. This was fun. Thank you for sending the items. Another good time. I'm probably gonna try to do this once a month-ish. Once a month-ish is the plan for this, I think. Just to kind of keep on top of submissions for the workshop. It's fun. And, yeah, thanks for all the follows today. Thanks for all the subs today, guys. Demo night video is in progress. I assure you, it will be done when it's done. I'm not rushing this one. I do not want to rush this one. I'm gonna take my time with it. And, yeah. I will see y'all later. Y'all have a good one.